goals per game on the year overall. They're also winning just 39% of their games following a day off. Now, scoring-wise, Florida 4-1 to the over in their last 5, and they're also 4-1 to the over in their last 5 on their home ice. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Montreal plus $1.25 in the over. 6 goals in that one. All right, we're going to slide into some college basketball real quick. We do have a couple games to look at. None of those games of which are on the board here, but there are a couple games of interest, so let me just find it here. Yeah, we got it. Let's go ahead and get going. Detroit at Youngstown State, 2 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Youngstown. Youngstown State is minus 1.5. Total open 148 up to 150. Now, 53% of the consensus is leaning toward Detroit, 67% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Detroit is plus 105 for some money line cash. Now, Detroit has been very good against the number this year. They're 9-3 against the spread overall for the year. They have also successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 7 away from home. Now, Youngstown on the other side, they've dropped 5 out of their last 6 straight up. Their defense is also allowing 82 points per contest on their home court. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Detroit plus 2 after buying the hook, getting the job done on the road in that one. Next game, Oakland at Cleveland State. 7 o'clock tip-off at Cleveland State. Cleveland State opened 3.5 down to 2.5. Totals 155 even. Oakland's taking 54% of the consensus, and then 57% is shaded toward the over. Right now, Oakland's plus 120 for some money line cash. Now, Oakland's been very good against the number. Oakland has had a lot of overs so far this year, 9-3 to the over in their 12 games overall for the year. Oakland's also 88% to the over, taking on teams averaging more than 72 points per contest. And when it comes to this Cleveland State squad, they're 5-2 to the over in their last 7 themselves, 67% to the over after 4 or more days off. So I'm really not interested in the sides in this one, but I do like a play on the total. Give me the over 155 in that matchup there. Next game, Delaware at Hofstra, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Hofstra. Now, this Hofstra team opened 12 down to 10.5. Total open 148 down to 146 and a hook. 63% are leaning Hofstra, 54% leaning toward the over. And at the moment, the Blue Hens of Delaware are plus 445 for some money line cash. Now, Hofstra's been very good against the number this season. They've covered 10 out of their 12 games overall for the year. They're also covering 86% of their games, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. Now, the Blue Hens have failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3, taking on teams over 650. They've also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6 ball games. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take Hofstra minus 10, getting the job done against the number. Next game, IUPUI at Northern Kentucky. 7 o'clock tip-off at Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky was 8, now minus 8.5. Total is 145 and a hook. And right now, Northern Kentucky is minus 455 for some money line cash. Now, Northern, they're just 3-8 against the spread overall for the year. They're covering just 33% of their games as the official Vegas favorite. Meanwhile, IUP on the other side, they're 9-3 against the number overall for the year. A perfect 2-0 ATS taking on teams over 650, and they are also a perfect 6-0 against the spread, taking on 6-0 against the spread after 4 or more days off. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take IUPUI plus 9, getting the job done against the number. Next game, UT Arlington at the University of Texas Longhorns. 8 o'clock tip-off at UT. Texas is minus 19, totals at 135. The Longhorns are minus 5,000 on the money line. Now, the Longhorns are 7-4 to the under overall for the year, 3-0 to the under, taking on teams scoring less than 67 points per contest. UT Arlington is 9-2 to the under overall for the year, 85% to the under after 4 more days off. Give me the under 135 in that matchup there. Next game, UC Riverside, Air Force, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off, and that is at Air Force. Now, the Air Force Academy opened the betting as the 6.5-point favorite with a total at 130. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing steady money on Air Force at the moment. We're also seeing money on the under as well. Right now, Air Force is -8. With the total moving downward to 128.5. So once again, Air Force open 6.5 up to 8. Total open 130 down to 128 and a hook. 61% of the consensus is leaning toward the Air Force Academy. 64% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, UC Riverside is plus 285 for some money line cash. Now, UC Riverside is 8-3 to the under overall for the year. So 8 out of their 11 games overall for the year stayed under that total. They're also 6-2 to the under on the road this season as well. Meanwhile, on the Air Force side of things, very similar story there. As their offense, well, they're putting up just 67 points per contest. Air Force is also 3-0 to the under in their last trio of ball games. So I'm going to forego a play on the spread in this one, but I do like a play on the total. Give me the under 128.5 in that matchup there. All right, 3 games to go here, guys. Next game, Denver at Nebraska, Omaha. 8:30 tip-off at Nebraska, Omaha. Now, Nebraska, Omaha is -7.5 with a total at 151. 61% is leaning toward Nebraska, Omaha. And at the moment, Denver is plus 275 for some money line cash. Now, this Denver team has been very, very bad against the number so far for the year. They're just 3-10 against the number overall for the season. So out of their 13 games, they failed to cover in 10 of them. Just 3 covers out of 13 ball games overall for the year. They've also failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6 on the road. This Denver squad is also covering 22% of their ball games when catching the points, and they've failed to cover in 6 out of their last 8 as the official road underdog. Now, Nebraska on the other side, they're 2-1 against the number in their 3 games at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take Nebraska, Omaha, -7, getting the job done against the number. All right, next game, South Dakota at North Dakota State. 9 o'clock tip-off at NDSU. NDSU is -2.5. Total open 136 up to 136 and a hook. Right now, North Dakota State is taking 58% of the consensus. And at the moment, 64% are leaning toward the over. And right now, South Dakota's plus 120 on the money line. Now, South Dakota is 9-2 to the under overall for the year. They're also 86% to the under in their games on the road. 4 out of South Dakota's last 5 games, taking on teams allowing more than 72 points per contest, stayed under the total as well. So once again, South Dakota 4-1 to the under versus teams allowing more than 72 points per contest. South Dakota is also 85% to the under after 4 or more days off. Now on the North Dakota State side of things, very, very similar story there. They are 4-0 to the under in their last 4 ball games themselves. So with all that said and done, I don't know if we'll see a whole lot of scoring in this one. I'm not really concerned about a play on the sides, although I do like a play on the total. Give me the under 136.5 in that one, and that's going to lead me into my next and final game for the show. It is going to be UC Davis at Loyola Marymount. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off at LMU. Now, Marymount opened the betting as the 9.5-point favorite with a total at 123. Very low total there. And since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on that total, although we did see a full-point fade of LMU. A full-point fade downward. So right now, Loyola Marymount is -8.5. Total remains at 123. So once again, LMU opened 9.5 down to 8.5. Totals 123. Now UC Davis, they're 8-2 to the under overall for the year. So out of their 10 ball games, 8 of them stayed under the total. They're also 4-1 to the under in their last 5 games that were played after 4 or more days off. So once again, 4-1 to the under after 4 or more days off for UC Davis. Now, on the Loyola Marymount side of things, they are also 9-2 to the under overall for the year. So a ton of unders between both of these teams. That'll certainly explain why we have a really, really low opening total. So once again, not really favoring a play on the sides. although I do like a play on the total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take the under 123 in that matchup there.